Time Factor. 566. Okay, guess what? We're back on Time Factor Radio Show, and Pat is gone. Long ways to whatever it is. Trust me about that. And we have a guest for you today as well, and she's a little girl. Francis is literally having times and they did those sanctions. Washington Post reports that U.S. Ambassador to UN Susan Rice and her husband own stake in a company that up until recently done business with Iran. Multiple questions these posed her possible nominations as Secretary of State. Now, companies are global conglomerates. Some of them they stopped doing business with Iran. They comply with individual sanctions, but with some, which companies say with the rights and investigated, have stopped doing the business with Iran. Washington Post says, hey, what's out there with the biggest things between $50 and $100? She's super wealthy. According to Rice's disclosure statement for 2011, is Royal Dutch Shell. International oil giants stopped buying crude oil of Iran only this year, as sanctions would tighten a block of experts wanting to Iran to stop buying international transactions with the Central Bank. Rice's own husband also owned between $50,000 in stock in ENI, Italian national oil company. What is this thing investing in oil? A lot? Here's the thing. Evil oil. She knows prices are going up. Who knows? We're speculating. Evil speculators out there driving up the cost of oil. ENI has said no longer it does business with Iran, but has a waiver for sanctions to enable it to collect oil as a payment for about $1 billion that Iran owes the company for earlier business deals. Company for purchasing crude oil and developing natural gas fields. On Thursday, some Republicans on Capitol Hill began circulating new information about racist investments getting into Iran. As for disclosure revelations, one seen GOP officials speaking on the condition of emanate with the wasn't authorized to discuss the topic said, this news adds to the list of questions about Susan Rice, not only Republican statements, but there are broader concerns about the past the record. Democrat staff also said that the condition ended the meeting. The reason the business would prompt questions. In fact, she was nominated. It does not appear for the disclosure that Rice's investments are held by a trust. It's pretty interesting to me. There is a little bit more than we learned about Washington Post. Free Beacon Post with a little bit more on this. That the portfolio of Ambassador Rice includes these investments of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Energy companies. What are these speculators? Evil speculators doing business in Iran. Listen to me. Rice is the highest network of the second branch members. A fortune estimated between $24 and $44 million, according to the Center for Responsible Politics. Free Beacon analysis of Rice's portfolio shows that $1,000 invested in at least 37 companies. The rival lawmakers on Capitol Hill were doing business in Iran's oil and gas sector. Since Rice investigating companies doing business in Iran shows that we get administration without seriousness. This is what Rice's choices. Immorality, says Michael Rubin, former academic advisor on Iran Iraq. Continue to wonder this. Susan Rice's own enrichment program. When they call also it's coming controversy. Oh, look at this today. That the caller pointed out. Book in 1986, Professor Rice, French diplomat, argued for the aggressive recruitment Black history curriculum in schools, claiming the mission had crippling effects for the child with no more than a right interpretation of reality. Some people on the Hill looking into that controversy will follow it as a major whatever. There's no more than this. Of course, the so-called debt crisis in America is now fake. Cliff, we go. With the fiscal cliff, we go. It's Melissa Francis. She's with the Fox Business Network. Melissa, always great to have you. Welcome. What do you think, if in fact, first of all, it's interesting that It seems like Susan Rice is investing a lot in oil, natural gas companies, big energy companies, speculators. I mean, the very things we often hear demonized to the left. It's pretty interesting to me. Well, remember Barack Obama said once he wants to see a gradual increase in gas prices. And, you know, everybody gasoline is bump. My goodness. Talk about the gas tax, the corporate tax, and internet tax. And of course, Obama's saying about the fiscal cliff. This is only going to be the first bite in an apple for about $6 billion. And then we come back in January. And we'll deal with the supposed spending cuts and when they talk about tax reform and maybe raising more revenues even then. So there's no end to this site, seemingly. I would support a value-added tax or the consumption tax. We refer to it as a fair tax if we eliminate the taxes. We're going to do it in addition to.
That's right. They're just going to create a whole other stream of revenue that would only grow government much bigger.
What? What do you think is going to happen with the fiscal cliff? Two hypotheses I'm advancing. One is come Christmas Eve or maybe a day or two before, we can see a group of, we'll see breaking news that alerts all of the news. A deal has been struck, and all these Democrats hate each other, all these Republicans hate each other, and they come running out of the White House. President will make a statement when they come running out, deal with this destruction. I want to praise people on the advice side of the aisle. And they're trying to tell each other back. And they tell each other how great they are. And they tell everybody, you go home and spend your money now for Christmas. And we want very little will actually be done. Yeah. Another one is that we're going to the cliff. And doom and gloom is not going to happen again. I think the president deep down inside held indeed is some of the really hard left progressives and stated this publicly. There's a lot of advantages. This is the best deal they can get. It is the best cuts to sequestration. They also get tax increases for everybody and say they only want it for the rich, but they actually want it for everybody. And they get to blame Republicans at the end of the time. Either those right or I'm wrong. I am wrong. The first one wasn't complying. Oh God, how dumb. This is ridiculous. You know, I've become a real fan of learning from people like yourself, Sandra Smith and Neil Cavuto and Stewart teams, and you got a great team over at Jerry Wills. You got a team over the Fox Business Network. I am embarrassed to admit to it about the Mint. When I watched Little House on the Prairie when I was a kid. I to see you as a child actress. Oh, really? As a child actress. And I left my head off. I didn't. You were the actress. Age 8 was on Little House on the Prairie. You were Michael Lennon's daughter. I don't care. It's blonde, bro. Oh gosh. Oh my god. I remember when it happened. You know, I was stunned. My grandparents watched Little House on the Prairie, and so was my dad. Well, I don't know. He's watching Little House on the Prairie, whatever it is. And if you do what you do about it, I gotta be honest with you. It was very hard to watch this thing with like, and you were tearing up, and a very emotional interview. You wrote this book about the diary of a stage mother's daughter, and you had a really tough upbringing. You and sister.
We did. I mean, we were, on one hand, it was this magical, idyllic childhood in front of the camera. I started acting when I was 6 months old. I was put in a bathtub to do a Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo commercial. And from there was off to the races. I did more than 100 commercials, TV shows, movies. You know, I was the daughter of Slide Standard, Ted Danson, Glenn Close, you name it. I had a big career. And acting on the set was a lot of fun. It was rewarding. I really learned the value of a hard day's work and honest day's work. I learned
Oh my goodness.
like an adult. But behind the scenes, it was all driven by, you know, a very focused, aggressive, what we would call today tiger mom, but in LA, you call a stage mom. And she was very focused on pouring all of her energy and attention and drive into my sister and I and making us successful at everything, whether it was acting or school. She drove us to the absolute limit. And for me, it made me a goal-oriented person and to the outside world successful. But for my sister who couldn't live up to the demands and didn't achieve what my mother wanted her to, it destroyed her at a very young age. It made her feel really terrible about herself and sent her on this downward spiral.
Yeah. You know, reading some of this new book, it might have went over for me, over all of us, a long time ago. I was my husband's parents over there praised to favor, all doled out in random doses with confusing inconsistency, which was designed to control me and train me to crave her to like a starving dog. And severely neglected and arranged with the sister. Why do you feel guilty about doing it? What help her? Why do you feel guilty? You're a kid yourself. I know that. My God, did you teach your learning in school? Is it a fine line between trying to be the best at your kids and being overly demanding? I'm a single parent to my dad. Ooh. Ringing. Everybody's going to about this book now because of the way it's said about it is there's a lot to learn, and it's also a tribute to you that you have done so well. Well, so I'm going to be your colleague, Melissa, Francis, Daria, stage mom, this daughter, and thanks so much for all the time you come out. We appreciate it. Talk soon. Good luck with your book. Put it up on Time Factor website, bookstores everywhere.